Here we go. Honestly, big thing for this one. Let's make sure that both of these teams start off hot. I feel like this is an issue we had in a couple of games yesterday, was the teams kind of playing a little bit no, please, no. All right, I was just going to say, playing a little lackluster to start off the night. This time, almost the same thing with an open net, but no, not quite. We'll get underway with Reysbull and CRR possibly having the first offense of this game. CRR shot not on target, and Zineel will turn this one away out of midfield. But already, this looks a lot more coordinated than what we were seeing yesterday. And there's Reysbull already with the first goal. You have got to be kidding me.
Oh my goodness, this is what we seen yesterday. They just work so well together. You've got CRR kind of running disruption on both players, and they both are so mechanically dangerous. So many different ways to score. Reysbull could hold that flip reset, fake it, and come to the ground. They are just extremely dangerous and so much fun to watch. And Bess, I gotta be honest, I'm glad they didn't score right out of the gate, because I'm sitting there messing with the audio in the menu. I would have blocked the goal.
I mean, honestly, I kind of feel that. I realized as we get into this game, oh, I haven't started up a note sheet. I kind of got to do that. But, yeah, you know, we got a long day ahead of us. If I miss the notes on the first game, it's okay, because Reysbull, every chance that I get, will give me another chance to pause. Second goal already.
Incredible stuff there. Quick flick from CRR to beat Zineel on the last man challenge. There's Reysbull is going to put one in. They extend that lead to 2 inside the first 41 seconds here in game 1. We do have a long series, and something that we talked about a lot last time we ran this tournament, Bass, was Zineel and Cheese adaptability, right? They figured out how their opponents were playing. They figured out what strategies, and they better start figuring out these tendencies from CRR Reysbull right now, because this game 1 is getting out of hand.
I will say this does kind of remind me of the final series we saw yesterday, which was going to be that LJ Chronic versus AJ Magic Bear. If you remember correctly, AJ Magic Bear came out the gates absolutely smattering their opponents, but then after game 1 and game 2, it started to kind of turn into more of an even battle. So for Zineel and Cheese, like you said, that adaptability is probably going to be their best advantage here in this series. That being said, I don't think that CRR or Reysbull are not going to be able to make these adaptations either, although they might need to play some defense here. No, Zineel turns away from this one. Cheese tries to go for a bump on the backboard for Reysbull, but can't quite connect. Now, another 2v1 taking play. Shot on target. CRR, just perfect placement, and we're up 4-0.
Goodness gracious, it hasn't even been 2 minutes. The only thing that we got to say here, best of 7's a long series, and we talked about it, highlighted a couple times. Zineel and Cheese, they are smart players. They have the intelligence. They're going to see what's going on this game 1. They're going to understand, hey, CRR and Reysbull, they are fast. They are mechanical. They are dangerous. They're going to have to be smart. When they do get their hands on the ball, they're going to need to hold on to that possession, and they got to be ready, because CRR and Reysbull are pouring on the pressure.
Dude, I looked down to try and, like, add the tallies for making sure that I knew how many goals everybody had, and I look back up, and already it is 5-0. I will say, you're kind of 100% correct on saying that CRR, speed above all else. It was interesting. If any of you guys were able to check it out, earlier this morning, RL Esports, the subreddit, actually did an AMA talking about, you know, a bunch of different things. One person asked Shimako, hey, how do you feel about the complexity switch up here? You know, the potential that maybe they'll be taking CRR on. And he was like, the first thing he said, I like his speed. And in a twos environment like this, speed's going to be by far one of the best factors for the entire thing. And CRR, again, dusting his opponent through the air, has no boost in the tank, still gets to the ball almost first. Had he connected with that, probably would have been another goal. It might be anyway. CRR top left, it's 6-0.
Right now, they are just, it's suffocating pressure. They're snagging the corner boost. Zineel and Cheese, look at Cheese is running down the field to try to get something in the tank. They just cannot get a hold on things. CRR and Reysbull, absolutely no mercy here in game 1.
This is not exactly what I was hoping for my pick to sort of start off the day like, but you know, we got a long way to go. You're probably ecstatic because your pick is already stunting. Zineel with a double flip reset. Never mind. Forget it. I'm still sticking with my boys, and this is why.
Oh my goodness. So, folks, we got a play of the day that we picked yesterday, and we may have just seen play of the day in game 1 of this Championship Sunday. Zineel popping off. Is it going to be enough to get them some momentum here? They do have 3 minutes left. That's a lot of time, but they have quite the deficit to overcome.
Well, maybe Zineel will just do it again. There's one, not two, tries to go for the musty flick, can't quite get underneath CRR again, just the speed in the air to dust his opponents, and he might try to do the same thing off the backboard here, looking for the angle, drop down pass, and Reysbull gets a response. They said, hey, I raise you your double flip reset. How about a nice little pass and play?
Holy Bess, is this a 2v2 or is this a freestyle tournament? Do we need to get MK in here? I mean, what is going on? These guys are clipping left and right. We haven't even seen 2 2 minutes and 30 seconds of gameplay, and we have seen multiple clips from both teams.
Oh boy, this is if this is how we're gonna have this entire series go down, I'm not gonna complain at any stretch of the imagination. Zineel might, just because CRR continually pre-jumps in the air. Cheese though gets a double commit, not gonna probably be enough. Never mind, no, it's still not. Reysbull somehow able to get around this one, and I don't know what it is. This series feels like it's gonna be the one of the day. Already everything is a banger.
This is gonna be a very fun Championship Sunday. As I said, we talked about both of these teams at length at the beginning of the show, but we got a banger matchup on the other side as well with Dan Beast, LJ Chronic. I am so excited for this Sunday. Everybody buckle in. We're going to have a long, fun day today.
Ooh, Reysbull might have a fun time in the air as well. He's got plenty of space. Flip reset in the bag. Wants to go for the musty, but Cheese takes a play out of CRR's book and pre-jumps him before he can even get the touch. 2 minutes to go. I'm not going to say that game one is already wrapped up, but it's going to take something miraculous if Zineel and Cheese want to turn this one around, especially considering the offense still in favor of Reysbull and CRR. 12 boosts in the tank, but CRR able to dispossess Cheese, send this one high, and not get it to Reysbull. Zineel instead will cut this one out. Flip reset in the bag. We've seen what he's done with this before. The CRR, again, just pre-jumping, getting in the way of the opponents before they can even make a touch.
You talked about his speed, Bass, and that's one of the things that I was noticing a couple times yesterday. He is not going to peel off the ball. It doesn't matter if he's only got 12. Doesn't matter if he's only got 5. He's going to continue to pressure that ball, and we saw right there, he's pressuring on low boost, snags the midfield boost, and immediately doesn't turn back and rotate behind. No, he's going back to pressure that ball once more, and these two have such incredible chemistry. If the rumors are true, and they are, you know, CRR is moving across the pond and joining Complexity, I am so excited to see this team work together next season because it's flawless team chemistry at the moment. It's almost like twin telepathy or something. They know exactly what one another is going to do, and it's beautiful gameplay. Inside the final minute, Bass, I think that's going to seal it up for game number 1.
I would like to think so as well. 50 seconds ago, maybe they can get a goal for the road here, but Zineel and Cheese, I feel like a lot of the issue is also they just haven't had many shots. 2 shots throughout the game in comparison to the 13 that we have seen out of Reysbull and CRR, although that's a pretty intricate shot. Zineel tries to go for another fancy play, but can't quite get the power that he's looking for. And as we approach the half-minute mark here, it is going to wrap this one up almost definitely. Zineel and Cheese, definitely a better back half of this first game, but the front half of this one, not as they were hoping for.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday with a couple of the series, where when they just take off to such a huge lead, like CRR and Reysbull did, it's so comforting, especially in game 1. You can just full send the pressure. You can not apply any pressure if you want, whichever way you like to do it. When you get that early lead, it's so critical, it's so comforting, and it builds that confidence. The one thing that we have to say one more time, with credit to Zineel and Cheese with that bounce back ability, that adaptability, these are lengthy series. We got a best of 5, or excuse me, best of 7, so they got plenty of time to make the necessary adjustments.
I will say, I do appreciate that game number 1 is a Brazil. It feels a little bit, you know, fitting to the South American team getting the Brazil out the gates.
Sure.
I know that Reysbull is not actually from Brazil. I believe he is from Argentina. But, you know, hey, listen, Sam being represented already here. And again, I'm also realizing CRR is also not South America. The point still stands a little bit at some point here. But at the same time, yeah, this was an impressive game out of CRR and Reysbull. Definitely I don't know what other words to use besides absolute decimation here to start us off.
Decimation, destruction, obliteration, whatever we want to say. It was absolutely one-sided, very dominant from CRR Reysbull, and you nailed it. I think you said it a couple times. They just really exercised that speed, exercised that pressure. Zineel and Cheese, you know, I don't know what they're going to need to do, but I think one thing is when they do hit that, when they do finally get possession, they got to do their best to hold on to it, even if that means just possessing the ball in their own end of the field, making it difficult for CRR and Reysbull to regain possession, because when they get it and when they have boost in the tank, they have the resources to attack. Those two are extremely dangerous, and Zineel and Cheese just having a tough time dealing with it. So we'll see what they got in store here in game number 2.
I got faith in them. I know they can turn this one around. No way, we just had a double Spanish. Please, come on. Someone capitalize. Cheese tries to go around. Both teams faking the kickoff. We talked about the fake kickoff strategy yesterday. I think the 2 teams we talked about were actually the 2 on Paul today. And, well, it works out for one of them. Reysbull takes advantage of a demo in net, and we get the first goal.
Bass, the first time we ran the tournament, we had 1 double fake. The second time we've run this tournament, we now have 2. We had 1 yesterday, and we've got 1 today. I don't know what it is about these Hoodyhooo 2v2s, but these guys they're so in sync that they're running the fakes at the same time.
Well, let's see. Can they use that succinct ability to continue on here? Reysbull, he's got a 50-50 ability that has just been so incredible here today. Multiple of them in a row. And speaking of in a row, multiple players going for the same ball at once. Cheese and Zineel. I'm a bit surprised. Usually we talk about the cohesion of this team. We've had a couple of double commits out of this side.
We have. I do want to say, we see that demo on Cheese retreat, and it provided a little bit of space. CRR, he did, you know, continue on with this pressure. What a fake by Cheese. It should be a freebie. He misses.
No.
What kind of bounce are we going to get? Still has possession. CRR there for the challenge. Reysbull back to net. Zineel absorbing a challenge in the corner, but CRR, again, we're seeing that speed used to perfection. Zineel's going to have to just bang this away. This could be the problem. We talked about it a couple times. They need to hold on to that possession. Make it difficult for CRR and Reysbull to not only grab the possession, but then have the resources in the tank to do something with it. CRR ahead of the play, gets the demo, and once again, they capitalize on the physical aggression up the field. Bass 2-0, 339.
You can see this one two ways to Sunday. This is choreographed the whole way through. CRR going to go for the demo chase. Reysbull just needs to put a solid shot on target, and that's almost a guaranteed goal. The unfortunate thing is that even if you are Zineel and Cheese, the only way you avoid a play like that is to somehow dodge the demo, and then after that, you still have to get back into position in the net. This is going to be a difficult game for Cheese and Zineel because I do feel like their biggest weakness is going to be that over-aggression out of the team. They are very good at doing what they're doing right now, cutting out at midfield, being a nuisance play. If you get demoed, though, and all of a sudden it's 2v1 because your nuisance play out of midfield has left you exposed, you're not going to really be able to do much to recover. So Reysbull and CRR seem to have the key to victory right now, but again, with a long series ahead of us, I don't think that Cheese and Zineel are going to let this one fly, especially an overcommitment out at midfield. Zineel going to cut the lead in half and get the first goal for the team in blue.
And I'm going to tell you, I think this play right here begins about 4 to 6 seconds ago where Zineel actually snagged a corner boost from CRR and Reysbull, and we see them having to stretch because they have to respect the threat of a shot from Cheese, and on that stretch, CRR knocks it off the sidewall, and there's no follow-up. The reason there's no follow-up is because Reysbull doesn't have the boost to get there. So I think that could be something, a couple of the demo plays, a little bit of physical aggression, but I want to see Cheese and Zineel try to lock down the possession of both ball and boost. I think that's the thing that they're going to have to do against a mechanically talented team like CRR and Reysbull.
I do also think they got to start taking it to the ground. We're seeing a lot of heavy touches that send it to the sky, and we talked about this yesterday. It's the in-between, that sort of mix-up that is able to catch teams off guard. If you continually go to the air, if you continue to choreograph everything the same way over and over again, teams are going to start to make those adaptations a lot quicker than they normally would. She's going to try and keep this one on the ground. I thought CR might dive. He does eventually, but now he's left Reysbull in a 2v1. Good Boomer is going to alleviate said pressure. CRR tries to go for a little bit of an interesting redirect, and Zineel, again, heavy touch. It does feel like that topic you were talking about of keeping the ball close is a problem right now for Cheese and Zineel.
And you know it's a tough feat when you've got players that can score from anywhere. They've got all the mechanics in that bag of tricks. They can do it all. And on top of that, CR and Reysbull have impeccable defense as well. So you know it's frustrating, but it's something that they're going to have to do a better job of. I love this play from Zineel here. Just bring it back to the corner, bring it back to space, pick up his boost. But look, we see the speed once again. CRR, he is not going to peel off. He wants to apply that pressure. He wants to make sure his opponents are feeling that pressure from him. They don't feel comfortable. Reysbull going to do a little bit of the work himself right here. A little slow play in the box. He's going to put them up 2.
And this is what you're talking about, that uncomfortability. Cheese thinks that Reysbull is going to immediately take a shot, so tries to get there to at least get a 50-50. Reysbull takes about a half a second to wait before putting the shot on, and that'll be enough to put them up by 2 here. It definitely feels like Reysbull and CRR right now just kind of have the mental advantage, if that makes sense. The mechanical abilities on both sides are pretty much on display. The issue is that does kind of feel like Reysbull and CRR are just working in the correct way. The unison between the two players, they're using every single opening to their advantage, and it feels like Zineel and Cheese just haven't been able to find their footing yet in this game, or really in this series as well. They've got 80 seconds to try and turn this one around. Cheese with an air dribble, though. Again, cut out by CRR, and oh, he's going chasing for a demo. We've seen this play a million times, and so have Zineel and Cheese, but they still cannot figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. These guys are just working together, and something that we've talked about and praised from Zineel and Cheese is their teamwork. But right now, CRR and Reysbull are playing so effectively off of one another, dropping passes to each other, popping passes up for one another. We're seeing the physical aggression on display. They're just playing selfless ball, and it's causing Zineel and Cheese to look out of sync, something that we don't see very often from those two.
Never. Honestly, I think this is kind of, if you watch the last Hoodyhoos 2v2s, this is going to be a bit of a surprise to you considering how Cheese and Zineel, I'm not going to say they went uncontested in the last one, but it really did feel like that was their biggest advantage. They were just so in sync in every single play that they caught so many teams off guard. Reysbull and CRR kind of seem to be the team to do so. They are catching everybody off guard. They are making no mistakes, and when they do make a mistake, they're so quick to fill in those gaps. Speaking of mistakes, though, Cheese doesn't quite read this one off the backboard, so Reysbull's going to be able to catch this out at midfield. Good touch from Reysbull, but Cheese will quickly annihilate the player and then give away possession. CRR, again, right place, right time, and puts it to 5-1.
Holy moly. I mean, these guys are just on top of it. Not only are CRR and Reysbull reading one another, they are reading their opponents so well that it just seems as though they're living in their head. They already know what's going to happen before it happens. This is so incredible, so impressive. If they continue this, my prediction prior to the stream is looking fantastic.
I don't want to back off on my prediction yet. I'm not going to switch sides. You know,
No.
we ain't a turncoat. We're going to stick with this one. We're going to stick with it. And well, Zineel is going to stick with this ball. Good dribble from him, but it's not going to be enough. Reysbull turns this one away, and well, he turns the game over as well. This game, 5-1, going to definitely go in favor of Reysbull and CRR. Maybe a goal for the road. No, Zineel puts it a little bit too high, and as a result, it's another dominant victory for CRR and Reysbull.
Absolutely flawless. We are seeing essentially no mistakes, no mispositioning, no miscommunication, no double commits, no missed opportunities, no flubbed defensive stands. They are playing so well right now. And the thing that is so impressive, obviously they have the mechanics. We already know that. We've seen it on display. But they are just working together so well. And in this highlight package here behind the scoreboard, you can see it. They're running ahead of the play, leaving it for the ball. They understand when they get that 2v1, and they know how to make use of those numbers, that numbers advantage, and they're doing it flawlessly, as I said before. Reysbull, CRR, really nothing to adapt, really nothing to change. Cheese and Zineel, what are we going to see from them? We see maybe a card change from Cheese, I think. Is that going to be enough to bring them back in the series? We saw it yesterday, LJ and Chronic. They went down 2-0. You referenced it at the beginning. And it was a dominant first couple games for Magic Bear and AJ, but they were able to turn things around as well. Can Zineel and Cheese do the same here in the first series of the semifinals on Championship Sunday?
Oh, I think a big issue, yeah, is going to be exactly that. As Reysbull and CRR, they do not hesitate out the gates, and that's something we talked about yesterday as well. It's just sort of making a mountain out of a molehill, letting that lead get too large to the point where you're playing an uphill battle the entire time, and then you're making moves that you normally wouldn't, getting a bit more aggressive to try and fill in those gaps to maybe close the lead a little bit. If we can see Zineel and Cheese get the first goal here, I do feel like that's going to be the momentum switch that they've been looking for. I thought maybe they'd get scored on there, but Cheese recognizes the shot on target and turns it the other way. But yeah, Zineel and Cheese, I feel like they just need that spark. Something's going to get them ignited. It could have been that double flip reset had it been earlier in the series, or maybe a double touch there. No, CRR cuts it out, and we go a minute without a goal so far here in game number 3.
They do seem, and it's just been a minute, but they do seem a little bit more in sync, specifically defensively. And I think that's one of the problems right here, because CRR and Reysbull, obviously high-power offense, they're going to have to be on the same page if they want to keep them at bay for now. And so far, so good. A little bit more midfield play here in game number 3. CRR and Reysbull definitely applying some pressure, but not as many clear-cut opportunities as the first couple of games.
Ooh, Zineel might have an opportunity here. Good touch off the backboard. A little too heavy, though, so he's only going to get a 50-50 against Reysbull. Similarly, CRR will get a 50-50, and Cheese, he'll get the win. Open net, and there's the goal that Zineel and Cheese were looking for. That's not necessarily defense, but it's pretty dang close out at midfield.
This might be what they need to do to get this win. It might need to be a dirty, scrappy game. We see a few 50-50s, one after another there in the midfield. It might not be pretty. Zineel and Cheese might not be able to execute and pull off a W with some of the clean gameplay that they may prefer to put on display. It might have to be kind of, like I said, scrappy. But hey, whatever gets the win, I'm sure they're going to be satisfied with it. Zineel going to cut one off here at midfield. Reysbull caught into action defensively. Cheese with possession through the corner. Tries to go underneath, but Reysbull keen to it. Zineel will keep it alive here. It's got some space off the ceiling, but CRR knowing exactly where to position. Cheese pops one around him. That is going to be a turnover of possession. Now Reysbull, lots of space in the air. CRR ahead of the play. Cheese a nice read on it, but CRR going to drop one across the field to Reysbull. Good defense here from Cheese and Zineel. One thing that I've pointed out a few times is they've struggled to keep the boost. This time they're doing well. Cheese, a pass up the field to Zineel, who picks up both his corner and the midfield. Now Cheese rocking on 0. Pops it across the field. CRR is going to be the first to it. Not much in the tank to work with. He will keep possession. Drops it across the box. Zineel up to the sidewall. They do have the lead. He pops one to the backboard. Looking for the double. Almost got the angle. And he does snag that corner. This might be an opportunity for them to set up an extended stay on offense, which we have not seen much of. The CRR and Reysbull having none of it. Best. The defense on both sides. Much better, much more calm and collected here in game number 3.
I think we're starting to see the difference that CRR was putting in the first couple of games. It's those 50-50s on a repeat. Out at midfield, he is just dusting his opponents and making sure that if he does get a touch, it's at least enough to stall the momentum. Versus what we're seeing here, where I think Zineel is kind of taking up that role as well as Cheese. Both players are starting to recognize if they can get a 50-50, if they can stall those breakaway plays that CRR and Reysbull have been using to get those 2v1 scenarios, then just maybe they can slow down the team entirely. Speaking of which, Zineel going to break down the pace of play in the corner, try and sneak one past the 2 players on defense. And CRR, he's going to try and send one out to midfield where Zineel is waiting. Again, this is what you're talking about with rotations. Rather than trying to get over-aggressive out at midfield, overexpose the team, they're just allowing each other to have their opportunities. The succinct sort of abilities between Cheese and Zineel that we've been asking for pretty much the whole series. So let's see, can they get another goal out of this one? It's been 4 minutes of play with a single goal scored for Cheese and Zineel, which is a lot different than the last couple of games that we have seen.
This challenge game seems significantly improved for Zineel and Cheese, and I don't know if it's a result of much better boost situations relative to their opponents, but they seem to be goal side much more. They seem to be putting a good, large hitbox on these challenges, whereas in game 1 and 2, sometimes they weren't even in position to apply a challenge. And when they were, CRR and Reysbull seemed to have the better position each time. 30 seconds left, Bass. Zineel and Cheese. Like I said, a scrappy game, but they've got that 1-0 lead. Can they hold on to it?
Well, let's see. It's up to Cheese, really, to make a decent touch out of midfield. I was going to say, if he overextends here, all of a sudden, Reysbull and CRR get another 2v1, and they won't even need the 2. They'll just need the 1. Reysbull looks a little bit too powerful here for Zineel to make an early challenge, and he takes advantage.
Again, selfless play. CRR turns. No one there for the challenge. Does he shoot? No way. He realizes it's not going to be a very good shot, and even if he does, there's someone back to defend it. So what does he do? He pops it across the field to his teammate. Reysbull picks up that midfield boost, makes something happen. Beautiful teamwork between these two. As we've come to expect, 15 seconds left. Reysbull in a tough position defensively. Zineel in the corner. Cheese pops to himself, does get it central. Read well by Reysbull. Zineel. Full tank of boost. He does have the pop. Can he get back to this? CRR is going to be first to it. It's going to hit the ground. We are going to go to overtime.
Oh, I thought it was over. I thought that one was over for sure. CRR probably wishing there was at least 1 second left on the clock. Oh, wait a minute. They only may need 1 second in overtime. Reysbull, not a second flip reset, but CRR is there to back him up. Maybe go for the double touch, but that's a little bit of overexposure. And with Zineel having the boost in the tank, what can he do with it? Has a little bit of a fake out. Reysbull does recognize it, and so he'll get at least a 50-50 on the backboard. But Zineel, he's not going to stop pressing on offense. Gets a pass out to Cheese, and woohoo! Reysbull only barely able to not let that one go directly in his net. Cheese was lined up for the 50-50 to send that on target. But we go 30 seconds into overtime. Both teams getting pretty good opportunities, but no one able to strike.
A lot of times you see teams kind of like peel back the pressure a little bit, you know, play a little more cautious in OT. Nah. Both of these teams turning it up. They want that aggression. They want that goal right now. Zineel. Nice clear off the backboard. Reysbull dunked by Cheese. This could be an opportunity. CRR will be first to it. Pops it down the field. Zineel's got some time to work with. Awkward bounce. Will use all of that time. CRR is immediately on the ball, as we've come to expect. Little scuffle in the corner here. Team bump's going to provide an opportunity for Cheese.
Jesus gets a free lane. That was kind of mean from Zineel, I'll be honest. Like, I get it, you want to win, but you're just kind of taking the opponents on a leisurely stroll on top of your car. Nothing leisurely about this one, though. CRR, again, just challenging out of midfield. There's the 2v1. Zineel avoids it this time, though, and is able to, on 0 boost, at least buy enough time for Cheese to get back. Not going to be the end of the offense, though. CRR pops it out to the corner. Zineel still on 0 boost, so he can't go up for this one, so Reysbull will get a free touch in the air. Flip reset in his bag. Second one as well. Zineel still there, though. He's going to pop this one down. It's up to Cheese to make the save, and indeed he will. Reysbull, another shot. I don't think Zineel's had boost this entire time. Finally picks up 100, goes the other way. 1v1, not able to get the touch onto the backboard, and we go 2 minutes into overtime. Neither team being able to score despite a plethora of chances at this point.
Reysbull, a little opportunity here, taps it past one. Zineel off the backboard will make the touch at the last moment. CRR picking up that midfield boost. Great first touch. Look at this control, Bass. The reset. CRR blocked at the last moment by Cheese. The press is not over yet. Reysbull dangles this in front of the net. Cheese and Zineel, a little bit of miscommunication there. Fortunately, a good challenge will provide Cheese with an opportunity to get to this one. Air dribble. Reysbull puts a pot shot on target. Zineel is going to fling it away. CRR immediately there for the challenge. Does grab that corner boost. Reysbull with the mid. CRR, a flip reset past one. Zineel, cool, calm, and collected. Brings it down to the ground and control. CRR, Reysbull, not done yet. The fake reset. CRR puts it top right corner. Bass, that's 3-0 for CRR and Reysbull.
I was going to say that maybe Cheese and Zineel would figure out the key to victory. Similar to LJ and Chronic, once the defense upped their velocity, so did the team as a whole. Unfortunately, CR and Reysbull, it's like a battering ram. Enough shots on target, and eventually it will break. This is not a good scenario for Cheese and Zineel. The defending champions here looking good, but good's not enough. 14 saves, not enough either. You've got to get a second goal at some point.
There are just so many options. CRR gets that reset. We've seen Reysbull reset and then air dribble back, uses boost, the remaining boost to get back to it and pop another reset, which brings even more options. There's just so much to cover. There's so many options for these players. They are insanely talented, and this is one of the things I love about 2v2. They have the space. They have the time to show their ability. They have the time to put it on display, and CRR Reysbull making the most of that space, showing what they got. Zineel and Cheese, backs against the wall. They need a reverse sweep if they want to stay alive. Let me reiterate, this is single elimination, folks. If they lose right here, they are out of the event. The reigning champions will be done. And I think CRR is going to put in a freebie here. Zineel might get back to it. He sure does. Diving save. Still a tough situation for the two. No boost in the tank. Reysbull is going to keep this alive for he and CRR. Zineel off the backboard. Once again, get the corner boost stolen. Cheese blocked by CRR. Puts it in front of the net. Zineel defends it away. CRR one more time steals the boost. Reysbull with the mid. Both players, Cheese and Zineel, blocking high. Reysbull goes low with the ground pinch. It's off target. Zineel. Little bit of boost in the tank. We'll get that out to midfield. Challenged by CRR. Cheese gonna finally extend it past the midfield mark. Bass, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the first time they've been out of their own zone the entire game. Struggling to get resources. Zineel up off the ceiling. CRR once again. The reset. The double. Cheese off the post and out. Zineel gonna have a little bit of space finally. Can he get this at least out to midfield? Bass, they need some room to breathe.
They need more than room to breathe. They need at least a shot on target. At this point, we've had about a minute. It's been all the side of Reysbull and CRR, and that's the first time they get a good touch. That actually sends it to the other half in an advantageous position. Zineel, though, beat out by Reysbull. Again, the speed that we've been complimentary of for this orange team continues to be a factor. Although the speed looking like it's in favor of Cheese. Can he wrap himself around this one? No, CRR there to meet him for the 50-50. Zineel, weak touch, not going to do enough. It kind of feels like right now Zineel and Cheese are just allowing the pressure to go against them and waiting for a big opportunity to strike. The issue is the strikes on the other side have got some power behind them as well. Zineel continuing to be an unreal savior in this game as he racks up already his second save of the game.
They are struggling severely with the resource game. Zineel finally gets a full tank. CRR, enough momentum to get back in time. Going ahead of the play, looking for the bumps. Reysbull with a big flick. Cheese in position. It's a feat, Bass, a miraculous feat that Zineel and Cheese have not conceded just yet. 2 minutes into this game. Like I said, back against the wall. I cannot imagine the pressure mentally. Cheese once again up high. They're worried about that flip reset threat.
Can you blame them? Honestly. Like, at this point, I think Reysbull and CRR have been able to lock into a flip reset every aerial. Good example. Reysbull had one there. Couldn't quite use it to his advantage. But, again, this is kind of what you and I were talking about before as well, is that Zineel and Cheese, if they want to try and win this one, maybe try to break down the pace of play and go to the ground instead. When CRR and Reysbull have been opting to go to the sky every single time, you're going to have to throw a little bit of, a spanner in the works there. Change it up. Catch them with something off guard. Zineel, though, still goes to the air again. 50-50 could line it up. Reysbull's got to get around this one. Zineel is still there. Does he have any boost in the tank, though? Doesn't need it. Baits out the double challenge, and all of a sudden, Zineel and Cheese, despite an onslaught of pressure, are the ones to net the first goal in game number 4.
Well done. After almost 2.5 minutes of being stuck on defense, no boost in the tank. As I said, life on the line, needing the reverse sweep. Zineel and Cheese finally break out, and all they need is one good opportunity. Zineel makes it count. Cheese looking to put in a second one. Does get a flick near post, and CRR in position at the last moment. Zineel's going to keep this alive. Can he get back to it? Yes, he can. Zineel going to extend that lead to 2.
And this is not only big because of the fact that they extend their lead, it's also the first game, the entire series, that they have scored more than 1 goal. So this could be the turning point for Zineel and Cheese. I'd like to point out, last time that Zineel and Cheese were here, they did have a bit of a rough struggle to get up to the top. It wasn't necessarily we have to reverse sweep rough struggle, but they're not adverse to ability or to scenarios like this. With about 100 seconds on the clock, though, they're going to still need to show some more defensive prowess. Reysbull, flip reset in the bag. Zineel cuts it out before it can even really be a shot on target. CRR will be there to keep the pressure on, and Cheese might have given him a bit too much space. CRR baits out the 50, but cannot get around Cheese. I saw a couple people in chat saying, hey, Cheese, step it up. We need to see some defense out of you. Can't just be Zineel. Yeah, he's doing that this game. He's already got a savior medal.
Reysbull back to the air with 1:15 on the clock. They do have plenty of time, especially for a high-powered offense like CRR and Reysbull. But they're going to need to get 1 goal in, at least with a little bit of time left. The pinch pass across. CRR not able to read it. A little bit too much juice on it. Cheese, a reset of his own. Nice blocks in a dangerous position, but CRR handles it well. Not much boost in the tank. He will sling a flick to the post. Zineel at the last moment with a pinch save. Will keep it out. Reysbull, 44 seconds on the clock. He is going to get this double. Knocks it down the field, gets it past Zineel. Cheese. Look at the intelligence, the fake. It's going to wind precious seconds off the clock. CRR, 30 seconds left. 2 goals to the deficit. Zineel. An air dribble out to the midfield. CRR, a big pinch. Past the final 15 seconds, ticking away.
I think this one's pretty much wrapped up. Zineel and Cheese, I think one of the biggest differences we have seen in this game is not just the priority of defense, but the lack of 50s that we are seeing. No longer are Zineel and Cheese waiting to try and go for those challenges out of midfield. They're waiting for chances like that. A little bit too much space given from CRR and Reysbull, and they have taken advantage on repeat. CRR, gonna add one for good measure here. Says, hey, listen, we've dominated you a couple of games. Let's give you a score line that reflects the win here in game number 4. 3-0. First shutout we have seen all day so far. Could this be the turning of the tide that Zineel and Cheese are looking for?
It is the first time, and it's quite impressive because seeing what we've seen out of CRR and Reysbull in games 1 through 3, the fact that Zineel and Cheese were able to hold out, and we saw it at the beginning of the game for probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes almost. Just on the back foot, making save after save. Incredible stuff there. Incredible mental fortitude to not get frustrated. You know, sometimes, and I think we've all been there in ranked where you can't get anything going. You're just stuck on that back foot. It's so frustrating. So for them to stay calm and then capitalize on that one opportunity they did finally receive was impressive from Zineel and Cheese. We'll see what happens here in game number 5.
I will say, game number 4, a little bit of a, let's call it a facade, because to everybody, I'm not sure if you guys were checking out the stats at the end of that game, that was not as one-sided defensively as we might have thought. It's actually 6 saves apiece to both sides. Reysbull had 5 saves by his lonesome. No save to start off game number 5, though. Reysbull with a flick 4 seconds into the game.
All right, back to business for CRR Reysbull. This time, it's a ground play. Reysbull showing a 1v1 prowess. Zineel and Cheese, 4 seconds in, already having to come from behind. Reysbull looking to put another one in. Unfortunately, bounces off the post. Can't make contact with it. Cheese. No boost left in the tank. Does put it in front of the net. Zineel's there, and they will equalize. Not even 20 seconds in, Bass, and we've already scored twice.
Well, this is starting to look a little bit more like game number 1, where it was just banger shot after banger shot. The big difference was that Reysbull and CRR were saving every single banger shot that we saw out of Cheese and Zineel. This time, a little bit different. 19 seconds into this one, we're all squared away at 1 apiece. Let's hope that maybe we continue to see this back and forth. Fake kickoff, not going to work for Reysbull and CRR. Cheese somehow reads it and is able to get the demo, so Zineel gets some time and space out at mid. Over 1, maybe over 2. Narrow angle, Cheese there for the back. Oh, but he side flips. Not quite able to read that one, and CRR is going to get lucky with a 50-50 that deflects the offensive chance for now.
CRR, incredible defense. And Reysbull at the last moment does pop one to the wide side of the goal. Zineel barely able to get in front of that and make the save at the last moment. A couple of 50-50s are going to keep this in the corner. Cheese going to collect it. Reysbull waiting for this to pop. Zineel puts it around 1. Cheese has a little bit of space here. What's he going to do with it? Takes it up the wall, opts for the pinch. CRR with a big demo is going to provide him plenty of time and space. Full tank of boost off his backboard. Air dribble followed by a 50 at the midfield. Reysbull pops it around Zineel. CRR once again ahead of the play. Cheese does well to narrowly evade the demo. CRR, the aggression, proving to be tough to deal with. Reysbull there for the shot, blocked by Zineel. Cheese, 1v1 scenario. CRR defends it well. Reysbull up the sidewall. Not enough boost in the tank to do anything in the air. Gonna bring it to the ground, put a power shot on target. Zineel's gonna deflect it away. Cheese out to Zineel. Reysbull does have a full tank. Zineel's just gonna put a shot towards the net. Reysbull deflects it away. Now Cheese is there, blocked by Reysbull. Depending on the bounce, Reysbull may be able to get back to this. Zineel with a quick recovery. We'll keep it out for now. One more save from Zineel. Gonna keep the defensive alive for now.
How many saves are we gonna see from Zineel at this point?
I don't know, Bass. This is incredible.
Dude, he's got 3. They've got 5 total. We haven't seen a save out of Reysbull or CRR this entire game, and it's 1-1 going into halftime. I'm honestly fascinated because sometimes you do see series like this where, oh, okay, well, I was going to say the defense looks one-sided, yet the games are not as much, although there goes the first lapse in judgment on the defense, and Cheese can't wrap himself around this.
He was in a good position, just didn't have the boost to make it happen. It's bound to work out that way. When you are under so much pressure for such a long period of time, you've got to play perfect, and unfortunately, Cheese not able to keep the perfection up. On the end of that play, Zineel will go ahead and grab possession here. No boost in the tank. The 50-50 pops high. Cheese up to it quickly. Cheese
CRR
finally grabbing that corner boost, and Zineel's going to keep it under control here with the flick pass 1. Tags a demo on the end of it. CRR off the ceiling. Nice challenge. We'll keep this in the corner. 2-1. CRR Reysbull do have the lead. They don't need to score again. If they can milk the rest of this clock, they're going to be moving on to the grand finals.
They've definitely got a good road to get there at this point. It does feel like Cheese and Zineel, after that second goal, they've kind of had the wind taken out of their sails. A lot of the offensive pressure that they were continually outpouring during this game is starting to dissipate. Although, they're still getting some good 50-50s here and there. Again, it seems like the name of the game for them has been breakout plays in the perfect moments, and this isn't going to be a breakout. Zineel has his boost stolen in the corner, so CRR fakes out Cheese on the line. Tries to also get a demo on Zineel, but maybe the demo goes the other way. Reysbull getting chased down, but Zineel has no boost in the tank. This is something you talked about before. CRR and Reysbull are stealing this corner every single time, and it is leaving both Cheese and Zineel with almost nothing in the tank to defend with.
It's something that we see deployed in 1v1s all the time. You pop that ball high and snag the corner boost. And obviously this is part of the game in 2s and 3s as well, but the way that Reysbull and CRR are making use of boost management and boost starvation is absolutely incredible. So frustrating. It's so difficult. Zineel and Cheese a double commit there for the last moment save. CRR fakes high, goes low. Zineel needs to stay behind this. He does so, stays goal side. Cheese, 0 boost, a nice 50 once again. Leaves it for a teammate. Reysbull and CRR just suffocating pressure. Cheese and Zineel have no boost in the tank to get out, and Reysbull puts a shot on target. Zineel, another last moment save, 30 seconds pass. They need to not only play defense, they got to get out, and they've got to put one in.
Oh, no, and the issue is that they just don't seem to have that opening. 12 saves on the side of Zineel and Cheese versus 18 shots on CRR and Reysbull, although here could be a shot for Zineel, but he turns for the boost instead. He was so boost-starved that he opted to not go for a touch out of midfield, which could be the last offense of the game, and goes for the boost. Zineel and CRR in a 1v1. This one's dribbling on target, but no, not quite. 4 seconds to go. Last chance here for Zineel and Cheese to stay in this tournament. Zineel will take it out of the corner. Reysbull probably going to go for a challenge on the wall. Waits a second and tries it off the ceiling. Cheese is there, but cannot get a 50. And 4-1, the reigning champions go down in the semifinals. Will walk away without any of the cash in their pocket. And CRR and Reysbull head to the championship.